Hey everybody, it's that time again. Jim Messina here with VintageDrumsTalk.com. It's showtime, as you can see behind me. This is the Chicago Vintage and Custom Drum Show. It's all happening. It's Saturday. Show's been open an hour, maybe or so. It's looking really good. We walked around the floor. A lot of vintage stuff, which is what we're going to be bringing to you today. Okay? So come on with us. Let's go. Hey folks, here we are once again, Jim Messina Vintage Drums Talk at the Chicago Vintage and Custom Drum Show. You know who this is, Chuck Scalia. How you doing, Chuck?
I'm doing great, Jim. Good to see you, man.
I see you're doing great. Oh, I can't believe it. This trick's on in front of us. Look at this set, guys.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
You want to explain this? I've never seen this vibrant. I've never seen this yellow on Trixon.
Yeah, they had it available. I've seen it on other sets, but it's certainly not common. There are probably 10 red sparkles to every yellow sparkle.
Yeah.
This set came to me complete with all the hardware, the stands, the hi-hat, the kick pedal, cymbal stand, even the little cymbal tilter is uniquely Trixon. The set is just a trip.
Look at this, guys.
And
they're gone already.
This was the first thing when I loaded the stuff in this year. That's the first thing that sold right out of the boxes.
I can believe
Go
that.
figure.
You know, he's always got something weird.
Weird is my middle name, right?
What else you want to show?
All right, speaking of weird, this is a duplex.
I love it.
It's called the Spirit of St. Louis. And this is the full dress version. This is the infamous duplex hardware that is really kind of cheesy. It doesn't work very well, but back in the day, and in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, Gretsch and Leedy, a lot of companies bought duplex hardware and put it on their drums. But this is Duplex's own drum. This is a full dress, which has these beautiful, they're glass glitter. They're not inlays, but they're applied to the white marine. Yeah, it's basically the same covering on the drums.
Oh.
But you have to be very careful because it's not inlaid, and you can catch your clothing or anything. So this drum obviously was cared for very well. And as you can see, the drum has the original calf head.
Look at that.
Top. And bottom. Original slunk head on the bottom.
That's very unusual.
I found it near St. Louis. It came in a case, and I've got to believe that this is all the wear or use this drum ever had. It's just so well preserved.
If you could see this up close, you guys, I could see it. I have one at home that's red sparkle, but it's got, cancer spots all the way through.
Yeah.
Some of the laminate, like you say, is clipped off.
Yeah, first thing that happens usually, one's been used, half of this full dress applique is gone because it's caught.
This is a cool item, guys. You're selling this year?
For the right offer, everything's for sale at that.
Everybody's got a price. Okay, let's continue on.
All right, let me show you my one other little pet outfit.
Look at this. Oh.
This is, hold on.
This is really nice. I can't believe this is in such good shape.
Out of the Ludwig catalog, 1957.
Straight out of the catalog. Look at this, same set.
This is the Club Date, the deluxe Club Date outfit. And it's unique because of a couple of things. First of all, the green gold Duco is not very popular, therefore today it's rare and it's more valuable. But the sizes were really unique. So this is the WFL era of Club Date, 22-inch bass drum, and a 15-inch floor tom.
Ah, here it is right here.
So basically what they did was they took one of their field marching drums,
Yeah.
put legs on it, and said that's going to be our floor tom. And then the snare drum is an 8-lug snare drum, which today we would call it a jazz festival.
Right.
But in the WFL era, they call it the swingster snare, 8-lug snare with a P83 throw-off. And it's nickel, which I think gives it a really rich look. And it's a sweetheart.
This is kind of like Joe Luomo's booth. I mean, everything here is mint. That's fantastic. Look at this. If you were to ask me, I would say, oh, that's
Jim,
chrome, yeah.
When I got the set, it looked like this. I've never polished it. I mean, the nickel is just gorgeous on it.
That's amazing. Fantastic. Yep.
All I do is dust it off once a year.
Slight checking on the tom here, but really, that's totally expected, you know.
Yeah.
Really beautiful.
Yeah, it's really well preserved.
I like that.
That's my sweetheart. Now, I'm from Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay.
Wisconsin being Green Bay Packer country.
Yep.
This is our Packer drum set. There it is.
What else we got here, Joe? Or Chuck?
Now that's
Tomato,
enough for
tomato.
today.
Anyways, we're here with Chuck Scalia. Chuck, I always appreciate talking to you. Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
you coming by every year, man.
Really, he's a top collector. Always has some kind of surprise, like those Texans over there. Anyways, we'll be back. Thank you, Chuck.
All right, man.
Vintage Drums Talk once again, coming to you from the Vintage and Custom Drum Show in Chicago. We're here with Mike Corrado again. You know, Mike, good to see you, my friend. A great description of those drums, I'll tell you.
Thanks.
I always like to go to the authority.
My pleasure.
But, you know, this year, once again, I want to reiterate that, you know, the vintage drum community is small, but it's tight. You know, we've got a group of collectors here that have kind of stuck together, and we trade together, and we help each other. Well, we lost a brother this year, Tony Lewis, okay? The whole show is dedicated to Tony Lewis, and I'd like to get your take, because you knew Tony, didn't you?
For about 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, here's a Mike Corrado with, he knows a million collectors, but there was something special about Tony, wasn't there?
Yeah, he always gave me a call. You know, I bought probably 7-8 drums from him over the years.
Is that right?
And really choice stuff I still own, so
Oh.
it's in the collection still. And he would call up and we'd talk about it. He'd send me photos, and we do every time it was a fair deal. You know.
He always seemed like a happy guy, didn't he?
Yeah.
Even when he was sick.
Yeah.
He didn't let anybody really know. I mean, a few people know when the story spread, but
Yeah.
I remember after I heard that, he still was the same. He put his
Yeah.
arm around me, give me a big bear hug. I'll put some of those up. You'll see.
Yeah.
But with Mike, he's known Tony.
About almost 20 years.
Jeez,
Yeah, almost 20 years.
The first time I met him was when I showed up at the club at the show with that Duncan sock pedal. Remember
Oh,
that
yeah,
year?
yeah.
And Tony was the first one that said, "Hey, can I see that?"
Uh-huh.
I go over to his booth, and he asked me who I am. I said, "Well, I represent the Southwest Florida Vintage Drum Museum." I felt I had to, you know.
Yeah.
And he was the nicest guy. He said, "Is that for sale?" And I said, "Not really. My brother just dropped it off." He says, "Well, let me know." And gosh, you're leading me on here. But he just has such a nice demeanor.
Yeah.
You know, and I just wish I knew him as long as you did.
Yeah, I know. I used to see him. His booth was right next to Mark Cooper's.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, and yeah, he's just a good guy. Always, always honest. We always had fair deals. I always felt happy with the price I paid. Not worrying about if you got the drum for $5. Well, good for him. I feel happy with the deal we made.
Well, the whole show is dedicated to Tony, and so is our show, Vintage Drums Talk, and the whole vintage drum community. wishes his family well. And
Actually, I could put one more thing in.
go right ahead.
Just for a plug to help his wife out.
Yeah.
Don Bennett's handling the estate as far as all the drums and the memorabilia.
Okay.
So people know Don Bennett. I think it's donbennettdrums.com in Seattle.
I'll get that
and
up,
they,
yeah.
there'll be maybe some choice stuff people can buy, and that'll help Lily out. To get rid of some stuff.
I'm glad you told me that. Okay, now you hear that, you guys? Tony's, got some good stuff. So now's your chance, and you'll be helping people out. Okay. So on behalf of the whole vintage drum community and this show and Vintage Drums Talk, we love you, Tony. Rest in peace, my friend. Okay.